Good
Hey,
evening,
hey,
everyone. How are you?
how are you? Happy to see us, just as happy as we are. Hope you're
Good
happy to
evening.
see us, just as happy as we are to see you.
Good evening.
Come on in the room, guys. Come on in the room.
Good evening.
And as you come on, make sure you share, tell all your friends. We are live. So come on in. Come on
Yes,
in.
like and share. And hey, guys, you know what we want to start doing? We want you to come in the room and give us some kisses as you come in. You know the
Mm,
little kissy face. Let me see. Give
mm.
us some kisses. Hey, Shauna. Hey, Shawnee. Come on in. Let us see those kisses flying. Hey, how are you guys doing? Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Hello,
James.
hello. Hi, James.
Good
How
evening.
are you?
Oh, that we got some kisses from Shawnee.
James Isaac,
Come on in the room, guys.
Mr. Marlon Barner Jr.
Like
Good to
Hello.
see
and
you guys.
share.
Good to see you
Send us,
guys.
yeah, send us some kisses. Like and share. And hey, while you guys are coming in, we just want to talk about last week's show with Mr. Walter Barnes. I
Yes.
guess I felt like we had an amazing episode.
Mhm.
And the best part of all is that he said, and we're gonna hold him to this, that he will match.
Yes.
I mean, match. And he said not up to what 200,000, but match every donation that
Yes.
we get
Everything.
during Black History Month.
Everything.
So yeah, so whether you give a monetary donation to Power
Mm-hmm.
52, whether you go and shop our swag, you see,
Yeah.
get this Remain Humble
Yeah.
shirt. This is our empowerment tee. And Lo, she's wearing our resilient shirt tonight. Now you can't get the one that Dre has on. We
Yeah.
have some other amazing
Oh,
things.
God.
If you guys go in there, whatever you guys do, however you support Power 52 Foundation, Walter Barnes will and his organization, they're going to support or match every
Yeah.
donation. So that is super duper exciting.
Yes.
So, we wanted to try something different this week. We wanted to touch on some hot topics. We could not let this week go by without talking about that Super Bowl halftime show.
Let him know.
Still, great day.
Yes.
No, what did you think about it? Because you're from a new generation, love.
Well,
So
hold up. I came up with them songs too. I
What's up,
wasn't singing
Alex?
my weenies, but I was singing the songs too, jamming in my apartment.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
like I enjoyed every bit of it. It's like the game was good, the halftime show was
Yeah.
good. It felt good to see us, right? I think
Mm.
that someone mentioned something to me like you kind of get that uppity Black music. That was hip hop raw. We
Oh,
enjoyed it. It was so
yes.
Yeah.
much fun.
And
Y'all know
Good
this
to
play
see.
for my
Good
age.
to see middle-aged rappers and stuff. Good to see middle-aged
but
rappers.
look, Dre, now that you said that, look, I'm looking at my phone because I saw this post out and it said Eminem, 49 years old.
Yeah.
Dr. Dre, catch this, 56 years old.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg, 50 years old.
Uh-huh.
50 Cent, 46 years old. And Mary
Yeah.
J. Blige, 51 years old. Then it
All
says,
middle-aged.
don't listen, but it says, don't ever let your age be your excuse to not show up as your best self again. Now,
Wow.
if that
Okay.
ain't empowerment,
That's right.
right there, it's like,
Yeah.
because you hear people say, oh, but I'm 60, oh, but I'm 70, I
Yeah.
can't do this. But you know what? They got out there, they represented, I mean,
They
to
did.
the fullest.
Mm-hmm.
And it just make you think that, hey, you're never
Felt
too
like I
old.
was listening to it for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brought
And
back
then
a lot of memories.
I saw some of my kids posting, some of my friends posting pictures of their kids that are like 5 and 10, and they were like, "Oh, what's this music? Hey," getting
Mm-hmm.
it in. So I
Still
really,
great
really,
day.
really, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Which then, okay, we gotta talk about Valentine's Day. Did you
Uh-oh.
guys, what you booed up? What's going on? I
Boot
see.
up.
We slept.
Do-do-da-da.
We slept. Yes, we worked hard and we slept.
Okay, now
That's
how
right.
do you guys feel? And I'm going to ask the audience this: what do you guys think about this side piece day? Now,
Mm.
Dre, I can't wait to hear your comments
I've
on
heard of it before. I don't know much about it, but I've heard it's an actual thing. I've heard that it's the day after Valentine's Day, and the side piece can be a male or female. Doesn't matter. But you know your role. You know your role. You you second fiddle, I guess, right? But you still a fiddle though. You still an instrument. So I mean, hey,
you still playing the tune. Is that
you're
what you're
still in the
saying?
band. So
Oh my
We do not
goodness.
support those.
I don't know. I don't know about the side piece day. I don't know if I could, yeah, I don't. Hey, audience, tell me, what do you guys think about that side piece day?
I think, hey,
Uh-oh. Wait a minute, hold on. Bring Shawnee up on here. What her comment say, Lo? She says,
been there, done that. But this year I
done
love on
that.
myself.
Oh, I know that's right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, let's see.
Mhm.
Oh, Shauna said, not still a fiddle.
Yeah. Still in the band.
OMG. OMG.
Still in the band, baby. Play your tune.
You still in the band.
Play your tune. Play your position. Play your part. That's all.
I see Shanti said, no side pieces. No side pieces.
It's all good.
Listen, if I'm
Maybe
in the band,
next year. Maybe next year. I don't know.
look, I'm going to be a first string. That's it.
Let them know.
That's right. First string, baby.
Oh.
Well, thanks everybody for somebody said meet Dre. Well, I guess it's time. We got people in here. Let's so now it's time for us to get this party started.
Let's kick it off.
Hi, and welcome to the Solar Sidebar Kissing Booth. We are so glad for our normal viewers, and we're so glad that you guys are here. But for our new viewers, Dre, can you take some time out and kind of tell them who Power 52 is?
Sure, absolutely. Power 52 Foundation owns and operates the Power 52 Energy Institute. And what we do is nothing short of amazing, if I may say so myself. We provide an opportunity for Maryland residents to enter the world of solar and renewable energy towards careers, right? Careers and all of the different aspects of renewable energy as well as solar at zero cost. If you know someone who is interested in enrolling with us, we have two more cohorts. We started one on the 10th of January. We have two more cohorts coming about this year. Next one's going to start May 23rd, and the one following that starts on October 3rd. And please give us a call at 410-777-9677. We'll walk you through enrollment, give you all the prereqs and so forth. But again, it's just an amazing opportunity for those who want to enter solar and renewable energy, which is the hottest thing right now in terms of workforce development in the country. So again, give us a call. Follow us here on all the social media platforms at Power 52 Official, right? Find us and get in touch with us accordingly. Last but not least, you can hit us on the internet at power52.org/training. Enter your contact information and we will reach out accordingly. Hope to see you soon.
So, Dre, let me ask you a question. Is this just for guys?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. There are just so many opportunities in solar and renewable energy right now that anyone with an interest and the acumen to get involved can find their place and really have a great career going forward. So men, women from all walks of life have taken advantage of the training so far. That continues. We've seen a huge uptick in women in our classes since COVID-19. And it's mostly online. I want to say that as well. It is mostly online right now, but it does exist in a hybrid format. So it's about 75-80% online. The other portion, still hands-on, come in, learn how to do the wiring, how to do the install, what tools to use, the whole 9 yards. But you can access it, for the most part, the knowledge base online again. Again, though, give us a call. Men, women, everybody has a place in solar and renewable energy. 410-777-9677.
But Dre, I got to ask this one last question. How much does all of this cost?
Oh, it's offered at no cost. It's no cost. No money involved ever. We shy away from using the word FREE. I don't even want to say it, but it's no cost. You will have to pay. It's going to cost you your time. You're going to have to apply yourself. You might sweat a little bit. You might even cry a little bit, but it will never cost you a penny to take advantage of this great opportunity.
Amen.
All right. And so it sounds like you guys do solar training, workforce development. So Ree, what is the Kissing Booth? Why are we here tonight?
We're here because we used to have, just a regular newsletter that went out quarterly called the Solar Sidebar. But, once everything pivoted, we had to pivot and we started doing things in a hybrid manner. Everyone's getting inundated with so many different emails that we said, let's do something fun. So then people say, oh, okay, so you took Solar Sidebar and brought it to Facebook Live. But we wanted to, I said, we need a name, for what we're doing with the community. And so, I said, what about the Kissing Booth? And everyone said, oh, that sounds so good, but why? And so we're like, number one, this is, solar and energy related. So you're kissed by the sun. That's the obvious one. But then secondly, Power 52, we're always in the community. We're kissing our community with resources and education and training. And so when you have a regular kiss, you leave feeling good. And so that's how we want you to feel when you interact with Power 52. We want to empower the community. We want to kiss the community with all of the resources that we have access to so that you can, just live your best life. Period.
For me, I was just gonna say, for me, a kiss is probably the most intimate thing that you can do. So, for me, it's about being intimately knowing and sharing with the community that we serve.
Definitely. And and we do a lot of that because it's not about the training that we do. It's really about our mentorship and how we pour into the individuals that we interact with, all of our trainees.
Yeah.
And so we've had many, many trainees tell us that, hey, we would have left a long time ago. But the thing that kept them here coming to Power 52 every day is that because we were real, we were transparent, they were able to trust us. And we always say, trust the process and you will succeed. So, so that is very intimate. Yeah, I agree, Dre. So let's talk about today. What is today? Does any of our viewers know what today is besides it just being Thursday?
I was going to say Thursday, February 17th, 2022. 3 days after Valentine's Day, 2 days after Side Piece Day.
Well, you know what? We're going to wait to see if anybody in our audience can talk about what today is, and then we'll circle back to that. So, Lo.
Yes. So now we will have our two guests this evening. We have Gail Dudley from News in Motion and Chairman Sean Jackson, the chairman of the Black Republican Caucus of Florida, to come on this evening to have some fun discussion. So let's welcome our guests to the booth.
All right, welcome.
Welcome,
Mr. Sean Jackson. How are you?
Hello, baby. I was gonna say, girl, don't mess my name up. I know y'all gonna talk about me for being Republican, and that's all right. You can, we'll talk to Jesus about that later on. But don't mess my name up. That's the only good name I got.
Jesus has nothing to do with that.
and Dre, hold on, wait a minute. Is there really a such thing as side piece day? Because I missed that all the way around. I need to know about that for real.
Well, that's good. If you missed it, that's great for you. But there are some people
Well,
who
no,
have
I
to
don't
do it
think,
that
but
way.
I might not want to miss it though. I might want to, I might want to explore that a little bit. You know
If
what
you
I'm
missed
saying?
it, then that means you are not a side piece. But some people, hey,
I'm not gonna be the side piece, but I might have a couple of friends. They might want to be the side. You know what? Hey man, let's go on and get to y'all show. How y'all doing
Yeah.
tonight?
So here goes. Number one, I just want to thank you guys for coming on and joining us. So for those of you who don't know Gail Dudley, she is the founder and the host of the wonderful News in Motion. I guess what do you call it? Is it a show? Do you call it a podcast? What do you call it?
That News in Motion broadcast is Monday through Thursday live, and then Friday is the News in Motion, the podcast, which
There
is
we go.
a set aside, is different. So, yep.
Yeah, so Gail, just take a minute and tell our audience what you are doing, because I'm there each and every day. That's why we're even here today. So go ahead, Gail. Tell our audience who you are and what you're doing with News in Motion.
Sure. First of all, thank you all for allowing me to come hang out with you this evening. My name is Gail Dudley. I am the host of News in Motion. The broadcast is live streamed Monday through Thursday at 7:25 a.m. Eastern Time. It is aggregated news with relevant commentary and a call to action mixed with the inspirational message. And we have fun every Monday through Thursday. So we're just enjoying ourselves. There's teaching, there's headline news. We now have information from the Council on Foreign Affairs. They had been vetting us. They now give us that platform to share information, which some of it is like, I don't know if I want to know this information of what's going on around the world. But we have a really good time. And my whole point is to educate people and get people to vote, register to vote, to become poll workers, just to get involved, to understand, to really glean from voter education and to know what's going on around the world. So that is what I do. And I absolutely love it. And I thank you all for tuning in when you do.
Yeah, and so you know what? It was through me, joining Gail each and every morning. Literally, I'm almost there each and every morning, that she started talking about voters' rights and why we should, why everyone should get involved, and vote. And so we even had her to come and talk to our class, just to help to speak on that topic of voting and all the different acts and things that are going on, because you need to know what's going on. Things are happening. So with me trying to take some of Gail's knowledge, and then Sean and I, we would talk on the phone, him being the chairman of the, let me get this right. What's your title again, Sean? I don't want to mess
Chairman
you up.
of the board.
That's right.
Thank you.
He's the chairman of the board of the let's get it right now.
Is it the Republican
Caucus of Florida? Yes.
That's right. That's right. I don't want to mess it up.
And we are the largest Black Republican grassroots organization in the state, soon to be the country. I've been chairman 8 years now, and when I became chairman, we had a little over 33,000 registered Black Republicans. Now we're up to 147,000 registered Black Republicans, and that might not seem like much or many to some. However, when you're constantly fighting against this one narrative, this one and only narrative that comes from the media that our community has seemed to believe in and be vested in for decades now, that, and not to mention the fact that you have every celebrity known for man that is in alignment with that narrative and that media proponent, it's extremely challenging to be able to help our community to understand the differences between and the nuances between the two different parties, and why it's actually okay to be a Republican and not just have your soul sold to the devil. I'm sorry, the Democrats. So
but what is that narrative, Sean, if I can ask? You said you mentioned a narrative, but what is that narrative?
Well, the narrative, and it's been a long-standing narrative that Republicans are only for the rich and that Republicans are racist. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump was loved by the entire world. I don't give a John Brown who you were, black, white, Hispanic, whatever. He was loved by the world until he became the nominee for president of the United States as a Republican. That second, oh man, he became the most racist John Brown from all of humanity. To the point where, matter of fact, so let me go back one. So we spent $72 million compared to Hillary Clinton's $500 million simply because we had that much earned media during the campaign in 2016. Had that much earned media because the media loved him. They loved him. They thought he was the most comical, the most outlandish, most happy-go-luckiest person, and he was making them a lot of money, a lot of freaking money. It was when they had a you-know-what moment was when he up and became the nominee for president as a Republican, and that's literally that same day they changed the narrative and he was a racist, this, that, and the third. Man ain't never did a racist thing in his life. I don't care what people try to say. I know they try to use the fact that that his housing tower had discriminated against a black couple. That's a lie. He himself did not do that. You all know that when you have a company, a corporation, and you're the CEO, you hire people to do what? To delegate jobs out. So someone in his organization might have been racist, yes, but that doesn't mean that he knows of everything that's going on at any and every given moment in that situation. The
Okay,
Donald
so
Trump
look, so pump your brakes on Trump. Ho, Sean. I'm taking back the mic here. So now you see, okay, Gail. So now you see when I would talk to Sean, the stuff that he would say. So I'm asking him. So I need to draw this off of Trump and back to the voting rights, because like all of this.
Well, you realize that's the standard bearer of my party right now. So I mean, in essence, the party revolves around. It's not so much he per se, but that is who runs our party, right? That's the standard. Just like Joe Biden is the standard bearer for Democrats.
Listen, Sean, hold tight. But here's the thing that I need to stress is that we're here so that we can, so he has a perspective. And so for me, it's like, okay, you see how passionate that he is about the Republican Party and the things that they are doing. And so for me, it's like, okay, this is the perspective of a millennial African-American male. So I thought that this, definitely could be an interesting topic for me. And I want to, bring it back to the voting aspect of it. So there were like many, House bills that we had identified that the restrictive laws that were enacted amongst the states, currently what's going on right now. And so like I want to talk about some of that stuff. So boom. So Sean, here you are, you're full motion, Republican, and talking about, you agree with, the things that are happening, but I want to see what your perspective is, and then Gail's perspective on some of these restrictive laws. So I know, Gail, you have hold on, Sean, let us talk. Hold on. You got to give us a chance to get it out. So Gail, what are, some of the things that you have identified to be restrictive laws that you have talked about on the show? I know some things for me that I had identified with, simple things like banning snacks and water to voters while waiting in line, things like that. So like Sean, let's Gail talk and give her some of her
because
concerns.
I'm really interested to know how that's racist and how that's
no. We're not talking about race. We're not talking about race. What we want to hear about, we're going to give Gail a chance to talk, Sean, and talk about things that we identified with, and then for you to come and say and explain it so that we can hear your perspective. Okay. Yeah.
And thank you for saying that, Cherie. I appreciate that, because Sean, it's very interesting. That's some of the narrative that I hear regularly, is that the racist card is put out there even from the opposite side. And I don't think that's what anybody's saying. To me, when you are closing, not you as in you, but when we're hearing that polling locations will begin to close because they do not have enough poll workers, the first places they begin to close are in the marginalized communities, to places where in those communities they cannot get to a polling location, or they don't hear about it until the last minute. They don't have transportation. Now, yes, shout out to Lyft and Uber and other places that want to come along to do that. But those issues are real. When you're talking about the elderly, and I'm going to use my parents, because I know this firsthand, both 86 years old. My father just turned 86 years old on Tuesday. He went to go get his state ID because his license expired.
He no longer drives. The children have taken his car and all that. My mom, who is currently in the hospital, her license will be expiring in August. So the question came up when we went to take my dad, what are we going to do to help her since she cannot get out to get her license renewed? There's not an answer. So that's a disparity, because how do we then, she can't come. What are we going to do? Bring an ambulance in and get her registered? What can we do? What can we do about that? Those are real issues. And the elderly and the disabled and the marginalized and the poor community. There are people who are just kind of like out of luck because all of these restrictions, what is it? 440 bills with provisions, 49 states in 2021, and more are coming to the line to say, we don't want these voting rights. We don't want voting rights. And I'll say this to you, Sean, I'll be the first that will jump on the Democrats and say their messaging is crap. And it's like, stop talking about Blacks in voting rights and talk about the disabled, the elderly, the marginalized, those who think they can't vote because they have a felony. That depends on state. There's so much
absolutely.
That let's take the racist piece out of it and talk about the community and what can we do to make sure people are educated and have the tools and resources they need. The fact that we're trying so hard to suppress the vote of people is mind-boggling to me. I'm not saying come in there without an ID. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying let's look at some things. For me, I've been purged from the voting rolls and nobody can tell me why. I'm back on. It hasn't happened to me 3 times and I vote in every election.
Yeah.
Where's that coming from?
Right. And, and that's one thing that I wanted to point out, because Gail definitely, during News in Motion, she's pushing hate. I never even thought you could be purged. Right. It's kind of like you register and you're in there, but Gail, let's just tell people where they can verify, if they've been purged.
Yeah, there's a lot of sites. Let me go over a few of them. I wrote them down. USA.gov is one. Vote.gov is another. Vote.org is another one. WhenWeAllVote.org. RockTheVote.org. IWillVote.com. You can also go to your Secretary of State. For me, on the 3rd of every month, I take that 2 minutes to check and make sure my name is still on the report. I now do that because I'm not going to wait until November the 8th to do it. I'm doing that now to make sure that my daughter in college, Howard University, graduated in 2016. She was purged one time. We were like, why? Wow. There was no answer to that. No answer to that.
And so, Sean, would you?
But like you do realize that's a state. You do realize that's a state issue, and matter of fact, break it down even further. That's a county issue or a municipal issue, contingent upon what state you're in, because some municipalities run their elections. Some
I agree that it's a state issue, but it's happening across the board.
Okay, and it may very well be happening across the board, just like voter fraud happens across the board. Now, the biggest problem after this past election is my president. I love him to death, but he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs sometimes, because he ran around talking about how how he won the election. No, he didn't win the election. We just got a good old fashioned Democratic ass whooping. That's what it boils down to. However,
I respect you for being honest to call out the big lie.
However, there was voting fraud present. Now, there was not enough present to overturn an entire election cycle, but there was voting fraud present. And it's not just in that election.
Thank you, because that's what I was getting ready to say.
Election cycle.
Yes.
Okay, the problem is that the reason why people really couldn't accept it coming from him as the ring bearer is because of the fact that he was the ring bearer behind letting that be known. But you have dead people that look, my business, outside of being chairman, I own a government relations firm. I run campaigns. I've ran 33 campaigns in my career. I've only lost 2. And I have won some elections by literally 6 votes, some by 2 votes, and I've won some by thousands of votes. And I kid you not, when I'm in elections that are so close, we're counting every single freaking vote. And I kid you not, there have been dead people that have voted. There have been people that have voted twice and 3 times. There have been people that living in a completely different area in a different state that should have not even voted at all. So that happens, and it's not going to stop happening, because unfortunately, you have secretaries of states who don't put that much of an emphasis on cleaning up their voter rolls. That's what that boils down to. But to go and call, and you're absolutely right, your party is horrible at messaging, because all of the talking points that you just offered, not once have I ever heard one of those talking points come from a national pundit. It's all about race, 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 race. And that's not true, because you can't tell me that a black person in this country or a Spanish person in this country ain't got enough sense to go get up and go get an ID. You got to have an ID to get on the airplane. So why you can't have an ID to vote?
Hold on, because see, the people you're talking about are the ones flying. Let's talk about the ones who
okay,
are
so that's precisely
let's talk about my parents. Let's Sean, if I can ask you, respond to my 86-year-old mom. Answer that question.
So that's going to be one. Okay, let me first be clear when I say this. Government is not going to fix and solve the problems of all 100% of the electorate. That is impossible. Point blank, period. So does that mean that there's going to be a small group of persons that are going to get left out? Not just in voting, but we could be talking about anything from economics to housing to food scarcity, you name it. Yes, persons are going to get left out. It is the responsibility of the elected officials, of the people that we elect to represent, whether they be Democrat or Republican, to ensure that they are supporting, promoting, and introducing bills that govern for the majority of those people, because you're not going to be able to cover 100% of the electorate. Okay. With that being said, because of that, you have to introduce a bill, pass it, and then see where the loopholes are in it to know how it needs to be perfected and how it needs to be bettered. So that way you can minimize the risk of persons like your parents and persons like those who might live in a rural area, or persons who might live in the hood and might not care about voting except for that one time when a person of color may be on the ballot and they want to go out and vote, but they actually have the ability and the opportunity to go and vote. So the reality is that everybody's not going to go vote every municipal, county, state, and federal election like you and I made. So some black folks didn't vote for the first time in their life until Barack Obama was on the ballot, and guess what? They ain't voted since, and might not never vote again.
And
or they may get up and they may go vote again if they see another black person that's on the ballot. But you're not governing for those folks, because those folks are a once every 10 year, once every 20 year type of person who's going to go vote, versus pushing bills that are going to make sure that in the immediate form, those who are being affected every single day by their quality of life is being affected every single day, is making sure that they're being protected. You can't go and put somebody who votes every election and push them to the side and say they don't matter just for one person or a minority of a people that might vote once every 10 years or once every 15 years, and they say that the law is equal. The law doesn't make the law equal either way.
But here's the thing, Sean. But here's the thing, Sean, and I think Dre can weigh in on this, is that a lot of times people who don't vote is because they don't know what they don't know. And so, that marginalized community, they will have low levels of education and don't have access to do a lot of the things that you're talking about. And so this is why Power 52 exists, so that we can educate and create access and, and have a platform like this to educate, so that people can be empowered, or maybe we will set off a light bulb for them to say, hey, you know what, maybe I need to look into this voting thing, because we have had many individuals come to Power 52 to say, hey, I'm 40 years old and I've never voted before, and I'm never going to vote. But it was through conversations and things like this, and conversations with Dre and and things like that, where we changed their mind. And as a 41-year-old man, they voted for the first time. And so I don't know, Dre, is there anything you want to say to that?
No.
If I can jump in, I'm sorry, Dre. The other thing I want to say, something back to what you were saying, Sean. You're talking about bills that we can't even get passed because there's this great divide. There's no non-partisan. It's like everything is partisan. So even if you were to introduce a bill like what you're speaking of, because of whatever it is, nope, not doing it because we can't let you win. We can't let you. We got to gridlock you. We can't let these voices be heard. We got to keep shutting it down. So nothing's going to get done. So as we can see right now in the Senate, that Madam Vice President breaking a tie can't even happen, because we now even in the Democratic Party have two that keeps going to the other side. So now,
let me tell you whose fault that is,
and
because you're 100% right. You're 100% right, but whose fault that is? That's not Republican. That's not Democrats. That's everybody's fault.
And I don't disagree with you.
Everybody at some point or another in this process in these past 4 years have made it such a polarizing cycle, and has created such a polarizing atmosphere to where whatever the Democrats do, the Republicans are going to get out there and say, I'm going to go get you back. Whatever the Republicans do, they're going to go out. This crap honestly all started at the end of Bush going into Obama, where things just got so divisive. Well, things were actually, honestly, to be truthfully told, were already divisive, but they were so much more hidden.
Right.
People became a lot more emboldened, I should say, under Obama, and then it just got even worse under Trump. And at the end of the day, the reality of the fact is that until we got some good people on the left and on the right that are willing to get up and say, you know what, y'all need to stop this crap and stop talking all this nonsense and stay connected to the fact. You can't even freaking turn on MSNBC or CNN or the Clinton News Network right now, and sometimes Fox News, because Tucker Carlson can be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But you can't even turn on none of these news outlets right now and actually get the news for what it is, for the facts of the news.
And that's why
News in Motion
and that's why News in Motion is in operation right now, because I was tired of everything you're saying. So it takes me time. I will fact check everything before I put it out there. And I think as viewers and as constituents, we have a responsibility to vet all the news before we're putting it out there in a cycle on social media and whatever. And there's a ton of resources to do that, but we have to be willing to take the time to do it.
Indeed.
And so let me ask this. Can we both agree that from both sides of the aisle that essentially we want everyone to vote?
Right.
Can we agree there?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because as a people, I have Alex in the comments. He said, "We're the dead people, be it Democratic or Republican, Republican."
The voters, the dead voters. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then Cassandra at Harvard, she says, "They are playing politics with our lives."
Yeah.
Let's see. Do we have any other comment? Anybody have any questions, audience? Does anyone have any questions for either Gail or Sean tonight? This is your time, Let's see. Any questions?
As you're waiting for questions, if I can add to something else that Sean was saying that I think could help begin to balance some of this, is that, and I know I'm going to go against the grain when it comes to Democrats, but I think we need to move beyond down ballot voting and start really researching the candidates that we are electing to put into office. I think that can also separate some of the separation or the division that we're dealing with. It's like, let's look at their voting record. Let's look at how they voted previously. Let's look at their moral values. Let's look at, we got to get beyond just the sound bites and get to what are you going to offer, and stop all of this, these commercials of what somebody else isn't doing. Tell me what you're going to do. And again, back to research on our part to really dig deep to understand who are we putting into these offices.
Exactly. And you know what, Gail, just to make mention, I think this is why you're starting to see more and more independent, independent running, more and more people running independent. I'm sorry, because of what you're saying. So I think, okay, so we have one question.
Yeah, he had to go. Yeah, he had to go. So Sean had some other arrangements that he had to go to. So we do appreciate you, Sean, stopping by and taking the time out to discuss this evening. But Cherie, if you want to go ahead and
go ahead, read some questions from the audience. Maybe Gail can chime in.
Okay, so Gail, one of our first questions comes from Anthony Johnson. Hi, Anthony. But he said, do you believe that the media should be held accountable for fake news to try and sway votes?
Yes, I was actually just reading his comment in the thing. I was like, oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I think so, because, you know, we need to start sharing the facts. We can share the opinions, we can share our own individual commentary, but I think we need to be held accountable for what we're putting out there. And that's why I even blame social media. It's like fact check things, put some sort of like right now, excuse me, there's all these COVID things that come up on social media. If you mention COVID, I think the same thing should come up on different news sources and say, here's some alternative information, here's some detail. Look into that, but absolutely, I believe they should be held accountable, because that's where it's all coming from. And you know, we all have our fave, whether it's MSNBC, CNN, Fox, PBS, BBC, whatever. We all have our look, News in Motion. We all
exactly.
We should really hold people accountable. Let's look what happened to Whoopi. Seriously.
Oh,
and that's an opinion show. That's
yes.
Suspended from her point of view.
Well, you know what? We talked about that in the office. You know, we were saying, okay, if it's supposed to be your view,
right,
then why should you you know, be slapped on the hand or whatever because you're giving your view, you know? So I think so. Let's see, Kishana has, how do we as a community members advocate for our elderly neighbors?
Well, and I think, you know, one thing that I keep envisioning, and I don't know if I can ever make it happen. So if somebody's on here watching this and you have this gift, go for it and let me know how I can help you. But I think that we really need to identify, I think Latrice Jones is on here and she and I have talked about this before. All of us, we get an idea, or let's say there's someone is saying, okay, I'm focused on the elderly in this zip code or this demographic or whatever. And then that group of people come along and help that particular community. Someone else says, well, I have a love and a passion for the disabled. And then identify that, not broad-based, but really niche it down to how you're going to help. I'm here to help those who have a GED or whatever that may look like. I think if we start dividing up the roles, I believe we'll be able to more effectively help people who are in need. But that takes communication. That takes people saying, I don't have to be the head person in charge. I want to help. How can I communicate? And then share out that information that we're receiving. I think for so many of us, we hold on to it. People ask me all the time. They're like, you give away so many resources on News in Motion. I'm like, why would I charge you? You know, Ballotpedia, go there, check it out, read it. The Brennan Center for Justice, go there, read it. The Party of Lincoln app with Karen Hunter, go there and read it. I mean, there's so much there. When we all vote, go there and read it. There's so much information out there. I think we hold on to it, think we're going to make a profit from it, but that's not how to do it. We have to share that information. We have to share this. And like for Rick, for example, Power 52, you're already doing it. How many other organizations out here can set up shop and say, on Tuesdays for the next 6 weeks, we're going to talk about voting. If you can't come, there's a Zoom link to join in. But we want to get this information out to you. And we're not holding that. We have to start using our voices and putting the information out there. That's one thing that I can say about our community that we still have a challenge with. We don't like to share. But as I was told by a friend of mine, sharing is free. It is free.
Yes.
We have to be willing to share and not thinking our sharing is going to position somebody else for something greater. It may, but what do you care? You want the information out there.
Exactly. And then definitely with us being a nonprofit, it's partnering. We stay in our lane. We don't do everything. So Dre, he's out there, you know, creating partnerships with different, you know, organizations, and all that does is create access and resources so that we can come here and you know, we can do it with our trainees, you know, just bring it to the people, period.
Right.
Okay, I think we have another question. Lo, can you put it up? Christina Peck. How do you think we can spread the message on News in Motion for people research and make informative decisions before headed to the polls?
Wow. Not just News in Motion. I think it's many platforms. We need to, I shouldn't say need. A suggestion that I have would be to find out what are the needs of the people. Maybe that is creating a poll, if you will, to find out what do you need. And we need to truly lean in and listen to what the people are saying. I'll never forget being at, it was before the 2020 election, probably the summer before that. There was a young man in Target, and I was in the habit of asking everybody if they're registered. And he responded to me that he was not because he had a felony. And I said, well, let's talk about that. Come to find out, it being in the state of Ohio, what he was referring to did not apply. And I said, no, you can register to vote. Mm-hmm. And so he stood right there. He registered to vote. He called his friends. He told them, hey, man, we can all register to vote. They registered to vote. Mm-hmm. It's because we have that conversation. We have to be able to listen, lean in to hear what their needs are, and then walk them through. Sometimes, we have to find out, can a person understand? Do they understand the different laws? Do they understand who to go and who to talk with? But we have to really take the time to hear what they're saying. High school students, there are so many people who are saying, oh, I'm not 18, so I can't register to vote. Not understanding, as long as you turn 18 by November the 8th, in this case, you can register to vote because you'll be 18 on that date. But there's a lot of people don't understand.
They don't know.
They don't know.
And that's why I say they just don't know what they like. Dre, he hears it all the time. Well, I can't register to vote because I'm a returning citizen.
Right.
So he'll beat that down. Also, this is another one that me, Dre, and Lo we were talking about. People saying, I don't want to be called to do jury duty, so I don't want to register to vote. Yeah. Ooh. How many times have we heard that?
Oh my goodness.
That drives me crazy.
Yes, I don't want to do that. You're like, wait, what?
But then we get upset when
so much more to it than that.
Right. Then we get upset when we look at the jury and there's no one.
Right.
And then we're mad. We're like, but you didn't represent. Right. Did you vote? So before you complain, that's my first question. Are you a registered voter? Well, no, I don't do it because of ABC. And I'm like, why? Like, that's that doesn't, I don't connect to that. Because we talked about we want to be invited to the table. Well, get on the list so that we can invite you to the table.
Right.
Like, as long as you're not a part, you're not going to be invited. So,
yes.
Yeah.
So listen, Gail, thank you so much for this. But before we let you go,
okay,
we're gonna put you in the hot seat.
Let's
go. Where we have some fun. Okay, so this is that, or it's like this or that questions. Okay. Okay. Or would you rather everyone could read your internet history or your thoughts?
My thoughts. Then they'll know.
Okay. Would you rather listen to someone brag about their life constantly or complain about it?
I want them to brag.
Okay.
Yeah, I want them to brag.
Okay. Would you rather be able to control F to find anything or control X to cut anything out of your life?
That's a hard one. I'm gonna go with X.
It is.
I'm gonna go with X on that one. That's my final answer.
Okay. Would you rather always be on the edge of a sneeze that won't come? Wait a minute.
Where are you getting these questions from?
Wait a minute. Or an itch that you can't scratch.
Say that again. Would I rather be on the edge of a sneeze
that won't come, or an itch that you can't scratch?
Neither. You gotta pick one. I'm gonna go with sneeze.
Oh my gosh, I would throw me that. Okay. Would you rather be 20 for the rest of your life or 40 for the rest of your life?
40.
Yes, that's what we said. Okay. Would you rather swap the digits in your age or your height?
Swap the digits in my age or my height? I'm gonna have to go age. Which would make me 65. I'm cool with that.
Okay. Okay. Would you rather sleep without a pillow or without a blanket?
Oh, without a pillow. I need a blanket.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. Would you clone anything or teleport?
Clone.
Okay. And this is going to be the last one. Would you rather lose half of your hair or lose half of your hearing?
Ooh.
So I'll have to go ahead.
I know that's right. Listen, I said I would have me a little short blonde bob. I would have an afro. I got the hair, baby.
Look, earrings will replace the rest. So hey,
exactly. So listen, Gail, tell everyone where they can find you, what they can do to support you, and just give it all to them.
All right. Well, you can find me on Monday through Thursday at 7:25 a.m. Eastern Time on Facebook or my YouTube. My, Facebook is News in Motion. YouTube is my name, Gail Dudley. The podcast is now the News in Motion podcast, which downloads on Fridays. You can subscribe and download. That would be great. Now, we would love for you to support our work. We want to try our best not to be censored by sponsors. We want to be organic in our messaging. And so many sponsors want to censor what it is that we're saying, which puts me in a really crazy situation. So join our Patreon. It's a $15 membership. You can go to patreon.com/News in Motion and sign up. We would be grateful for that. And then you can also go to Amazon and buy all 14 of my books. They're out there. They are out there. Just put in either Gail Dudley or Gail E. Dudley and they will all come up. And subscribe to my YouTube, which is youtube.com/Gail Dudley. And that is spelled GAIL, D as in David, U, D as in David, LEY. And I just want to say thank you all for allowing me to come.
Thank you so much, Gail. Thank you. We are so happy you were able to join us. And so earlier in the show, Cherie had asked the audience if you guys knew what today is. And so before we go to what today is actually also pre-re-day. And so we got somebody else to come and kill him. And so, Ree, we just here to tell you happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Tomorrow, we are so, I don't know. I'm hearing a sound in the background. I don't know. Oh,
that's
right. Happy birthday.
Yes, tomorrow's my birthday.
Make some noise.
And so, everyone, this is our craft instructor, Tony Johnson. He is here to wish her a happy birthday as well. So thank you for stopping by, Tony. All right. And so the real thing was, today is Random Acts of Kindness Day. It is really one of my favorite days. And so Power 52, we started yesterday a little early to do 2 days in a row. So kind of just look at this.
I'm ready. Oh.
Excuse me. Today we're doing Acts of Kindness. So this is tomorrow. And so in an effort to get our mission started early, we want to pay for your meal.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay. Are you done?
Just finished up.
Okay.
get pumped. No.
So we are so excited and we love this day. Like I said, it is one of my favorite days. And so today we still want to participate in that. And so for that, we're asking everyone to place kisses in the chat. And the third and fifth person to come through will get some gas cards because gas is expensive out there these days. So put those kisses and get ready to receive a gas card, third and fifth person.
Yes.
So, and Ree, if you in the meantime while they're doing that, if you want to tell them where they can get our apparel, how to donate, and so forth.
Yes. So again, I cannot stop talking about Walter Barnes, our guest from last week. He said that for all the donations, every donation received either through our swag shop or just a random, cash monetary donation, that his wait a minute, what is this organization? I feel crazy. I can't remember the name of his company. But at any rate, say it low.
PM Consulting.
Yes, PM Consulting. It slipped my mind. It charges my brain, not my heart. PM Consulting will match all the funds for Black History Month. So guys, please go to our swag shop. If you like our, we got hoodies, we have all types of things on there. Just go check us out at power52.org. Also, you can send us a Cash App, PayPal. It's not, you can just get us all the time. Go to power52.org/donate and you'll see all the ways to donate. So, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate Gail. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. But before we leave,
Monday.
Oh, Monday. Yeah, that's right. On Monday. But Lo, you want us to, we got a kid. We got to get in the photo booth right quick.
We do. So Gail, you're in the booth. And so you have to take pictures. So I'm going to count. Do I count to three? Yeah, I count to three and pose. And we're going to do it 4 times. Okay. So this is the first pose. 1, 2, 3, pose. All right, second pose. 1, 2, 3, pose. All right, third pose. 1, 2, 3, pose. And last pose. 1, 2, 3, pose.
I'm gonna hurt you, right?
Thank you so much, Gail. It has been so much fun.
So, guys, we want you to
thank you, all of you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And so, guys, before we leave, like we always say, I'm taking it from Gail. Like we always say, life is short. So remember to forgive quickly, love truly, and kiss the community with your gifts. See you in 2 weeks, guys.
Bye.